How's it going, guys? My name is Scrublord, and welcome to episode 2 of What Went Wrong, a video series where I go over failed war replays and explain in depth why they failed and what could have been done better to achieve the 3-star. Alright guys, so for our first replay, we've got Kandra37 of Casting Clans attacking Johnson's. Johnson's is at it again, defending bases. He barely gets 3-starred. This is a great base. It looks like Kandra's coming in with dragons. He's got 4 zaps. He's got some freezes, a poison, and a haste. Honestly, I would like to see a rage in here. We could probably drop the freeze and the haste for a rage, or we could probably drop this freeze and this poison for a rage and make this a poison, this freeze here a poison, because we've got multi-infernos that we don't really need to freeze. 4 zaps means 2 air defenses are going to go down instantly. We've got pretty low level heroes, which if you're a Town Hall 10, you shouldn't have level 6 and level 8 heroes. That's a big mistake right there. Rushing Town Halls is never a good idea. You should try to max out your heroes before you go to the next Town Hall level. As with anything, defenses, walls, lab upgrades, always make sure to max those out. But anyway, let's go ahead and start this replay and see what happens. We've got a dragon down here. I'm assuming starting a funnel. Alright, it looks like we're going to come from the Town Hall side. So we're starting off our dragons, getting a funnel in. These dragons are being met with Teslas and air skellies. So we've got a decent funnel here. That's not bad. Like, there's a good funnel. This dragon's going to take out this gold storage, and then it's probably going to go over here to the cannon and get a nice little funnel going. Only this dragon right here is being taken out, but it looks like it will get this wizard tower. So all of these are going to push here into the core, to the queen and the enemy CC. We've got the enemy king over here continuing the funnel on this side, just to make sure that the dragons stay here in the center. So that's not bad. Personally though, I would like to see some loons with this army, because if you can see this dragon's health bar, it instantly got hit by a black mine. So if you drop a loon, you know, here, before you send in your dragons, they can soak up the black mine so they don't hit your dragons. So I always like seeing loons with a dragon army, especially at higher Town Hall levels. Anyway, we're going in. Let's see how it's going. We still haven't dropped our zaps. The CC's coming out. Poison is dropped on it. Nice little poison. It could have been a little bit further in. And we are fighting this sweeper here, but we're coming behind this one, which is fine. King and Queen over here, continuing this funnel on this side. The Slammer got taken out already, and we've got a haste. See, this is why I was wondering why we have a haste in this composition. Because an E-Drag came out and not loons. If there was full loons in this Slammer, I would understand why we had a haste. But since it's an E-Drag, we could have easily dropped this freeze and this haste for a rage. And we've got the zaps were dropped over here on the air defenses. So these dragons, they're going to come and they're going to path through here, down this way. And this E-Drag's going to get decent value, getting bounces here in the core. But with a rage, we could be raged up right here in the core, pushing through all this and getting out to this air defense. And having not used our freeze yet, we could rage here and get all of these down here. And once we start engaging this air defense, we could start freezing it and the enemy Inferno Tower. So it's not bad. This wasn't a bad attack. The E-Drag gets good bounces. Air mines coming out down and hurting these dragons, but these dragons here, they're got free reign to take out all this trash. Up here though, our king and our queen, our king's taken out, our queen's getting hit by the Inferno Tower. She had to pop her ability. Like I said, she's a super low level, so she's getting taken out really fast. So she couldn't quite get as much value as she would have if she was a level 35 or 40 queen. So we've got this E-Drag and Dragon. The Dragon gets taken out by a black air mine, and we've just got this E-Drag left to work on these trash buildings. So let's go ahead and speed this up. and watch this E-drag finish up these buildings. So it's mainly a time fail here, but with that Inferno and that air defense still up, then this is definitely a fail. Now, let me go back into the beginning of the replay so I can explain a few things. Now, the king and queen came up here to funnel out this way, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But if, say, he had dropped his king and his queen down here, the king could have tanked for the queen, and they could have gone through these trash buildings and possibly taken out this air defense here. So the king's tanking and taking out these trash buildings, and the queen sits behind him. And since this air defense is on the edge, the queen could take out this air defense. So you could say, have the queen take out this, and then zap these two air defenses, or zap this one and this one, or whatever, and then you only have one air defense to fight. So if the king and queen would have been used to funnel on this side instead of over here, you could have gotten more value to take out this air defense to help defend your dragons against the air defenses, because that's the main culprit that takes out dragons, is your air defenses or your single infernos, but we had multi here. Also, I would have liked to see that haste spell was completely wasted, so drop the freeze and the haste, and if we add a rage, the dragons were fine through this center. You know, they were taking out a lot of things, and they still had a lot of HP. So with this down and two of these air defenses zapped, once the dragons come down and start engaging all of this, you could drop a rage in this spot right here, and then a freeze on these two, and the dragons would be able to completely gut this spot and take out the last air defense, and it wouldn't have been a fail. All right, for our second replay, we've got Shrek coming in on our side, attacking Erica, or Eric A. And it looks like he's doing sort of a P.E.K.K.A. Bobat with 4 healers. I'm assuming probably to start a Queen Walk, and then for them to transfer over to the P.E.K.K.A.s after the funnel is established with the Queen Walk. Heroes are decent. This is a Town Hall 10 attack. The heroes are still a bit of a low level, but having, you know, mid-20s heroes when you go to Town Hall 10 is pretty common, though I don't recommend it. I recommend at least getting your queen to 30 and having your king around 25 minimum before you go to Town Hall 10, but that's fine. It's a decent army composition, but the only thing that I see here is the only thing we have to take out an air style CC is the queen. So I would like to see a couple bowlers dropped for maybe some wizards just to come in behind with the king and the queen to snipe off any air CCs, because this was a fresh hit. But we have a rage. I'm assuming the rage is going to be for the core when the troops come in from whatever side they come in from, when they're going into that core. The rage is going to be dropped on them. We have a poison for the CC. Low level poison. I do recommend upgrading your poison. You may not think that it's that important, but the poison is very effective. It increases the slow duration and the amount of HP that it drains from the enemy troops. Having a high level poison is very important, especially for war attacks, to slow down enemy CC and enemy queens and enemy skelly spells, or skelly traps. And we've got 5 bat spells and 4 freezes. Freezes for splash damage, because it looks good. This does look like a good, well-planned attack, because we've got a multi-inferno plus a wizard tower here, and same over here, which can be hit by a single freeze if need be. And then, and our wiz towers are all on the edges, so that's our main form of splash damage that are going to take out our bats. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. So we've got 2 P.E.K.K.A.s coming down here to start a funnel, I assume. Wall wrecker coming in. Some bowlers going down. I wouldn't drop all the bowlers at once, because they have risk of walking if you do that. But it looks like most of them go inside. A good bit of them go inside. We've got 4, 5 outside, so most of them do go inside. So our healers come in. They're going to start hitting on the P.E.K.K.A.s. Got our freeze and our poison dropped. This P.E.K.K.A. is going to die, this guy's P.E.K.K.A. is going to die, but they got plenty of value here off on the sides, which is perfectly fine. Though I would like to see maybe the king go off on one side instead of a P.E.K.K.A on each. Like you could put a P.E.K.K.A over here and then the king over here for the king to funnel this way, and that way you could have 3 P.E.K.K.A s going into the core, but that's okay. Also, having a few loons to drop in front of the healers to soak up any black mines is a great idea. They're called cocoa loons or coconut loons. They're used to pick off black mines so they don't take out your healers. If you're doing a strategy, especially a strategy like a queen charge or any kind of strategy that uses healers, especially ones that go into the center of the base, it's always good to have a couple loons to send out in front of the healers to soak up those black mines. Anyway, we've got a freeze down on the enemy CC. The queen is going to town. See, we've got a black mine on one of these healers, so we're down to 3, but they're keeping these P.E.K.K.A s nice and healed up. Our bowlers are getting, most of them have been taken out. Now we've got our bats coming in, taking out, all right, the Inferno Towers. And see, here's the thing, we've already used most of our freezes. Like, the freezes should have been saved for the splash damage for the bats, but we've already used all of them, and we still have 2 Wizard Towers still up. This one might be taken out by this group over here, but we still have this Wizard Tower up, and I'm assuming this Wizard Tower is what's going to take out these bats. So the bats are going through, taking out the defenses, going over here to the cannon, and then over here, oh, it's getting tanked up by the wizard, by the P.E.K.K.A. Okay, so the P.E.K.K.A, that was lucky, the P.E.K.K.A does tank up. So the bats are going through and they're just ripping everything apart. So I'm wondering, why was this a fail? Is it the Expo? It looks like the Expo is going to drop. The cannon gets dropped. The mortar and the archer tower go down. It's probably a time fail. That's what it looks. Okay, so our bats die. We only have a P.E.K.K.A and a bowler left to take out all of this. See if... Alright, so I'm just going to let this continue as I explain. So in the initial funnel, when the P.E.K.K.A was sitting here and the king was sitting here, if only a few bowlers were dropped to help continue this funnel, and then all that stuff was funneled out, and then the rest of the bowlers were sent into the middle, then we would have had a lot more bowlers in the center, taking out defenses. The rage was quite early. The rage was like right here, really early. I would have liked to see it like around this spot right here, or maybe just centered here when we were engaging the CC. The freeze spell usage was too liberal, and at that point, honestly, you could have probably dropped 2 freezes for a heal or a second rage to rage up whatever came out of the wall wrecker. I didn't really see what came out of the wall wrecker, but I'm assuming it's more bowlers or some Valks. If you rage up that core, once the wall wrecker pops, that really does a good number on the enemy troops. And then maybe having a giant or 2 to tank the wizard towers, like dropping them out here on the outside the walls to tank the wizard towers for the bats to come through in place of free spells. But this was a decent attack, but it really came down to time because too many of the troops died and the bats just couldn't get enough value. I mean, they got really good value. They took out a lot of the defenses, but there wasn't any cleanup troops. Yeah, see, we had five bowlers and a giant come out, but with another rage spell, that could have really gutted more of this core with all those bowler bounces going out over the walls. It could have really gutted this core a lot better. And I'm thinking maybe a few less bowlers, maybe drop it down to 10 or 9 bowlers, and then have some wizards or some archers or minions or something to work on cleanup, because if you don't have any cleanup troops and your bats all die, then this is what happens right here. You get an 87% 2-star. Now, it was a good attack, but it was a bit short-sighted, and that's why it failed. All right, and our last attack is going to be Poor Joe from Casting Clans versus the Dude Abides. And it looks like we're coming in with an Electro Dragon army. We've got okay leveled heroes. They're definitely still rushed. Only a level 1 Stone Slammer. Our E-Drags are maxed. We've got level 8 Loons, 4 Rages, 4 Freezes, and a Poison. So a typical spell composition for E-Drags. I'm wondering Does he funnel? Or, I mean, we've got a baby dragon here, so maybe the baby dragon was used on a side to funnel. Does he funnel, or does he just completely spam them in? That is the question of the day. Let's find out. So we've got baby dragon over here on the corner. So are we starting 3 to 6 or 12 to 3? The baby dragon's hitting some Teslas. So the baby dragon's taken out. I would like to see a balloon in front of the baby dragon to soak up some damage and also possibly soak up some black mines, as well as a balloon in front of this E-Drag. Now, this E-Drag isn't going to get a lot of value. Now, as you can see, it only got 1 bounce here because everything else, these two are 1 spaces apart. If you didn't know, an E-Drag, its chain lightning only works if buildings are 1 space apart. If they're 2 spaces apart, like these buildings here, or this one to this gold mine, or this gold mine to this archer tower, 2 spaces don't give you a bounce. So we've got no bounce here, no bounce here, no bounce here, no bounce here. There is bounces starting here at this archer tower, but all of this right here doesn't give you any bounces. So this archer tower and this air defense here is going to beat down on this E-Drag as it tries to funnel. That this isn't a good spot to funnel your E-Drag. You probably would have been better off funneling over here with the E-Drag and probably using a king and queen over here to start the funnel and take out this air defense, and then keep walking up the side and maybe take out the town hall. Because king and queen starting here, the king takes out this, and the queen beats down on all these defenses this way, and then she'd come in here to the center with the king and possibly take out this town hall with maybe a rage on them and her queen's ability. So that's a lot of value that could have been had here that just wasn't gotten from this lone E-Drag being put in a poor spot. So we do have another E-Drag up here. Like I said, it would be nice to see a balloon coming in front of it to soak up any black mines, or to soak up at least some damage from these troops. So we've king and queen coming in down here to take out the enemy heroes. That's fine. That's not bad. They're going to get value taking out those heroes. The king does get taken out pretty quickly. And look at the value. The E-Drag over here only got 3 buildings. That's 0 value as compared to the value that the E-Drag over here got. So the queen's going to take out some more stuff here, but she's going to end up dying. The CC ends up getting pulled, and this E-Drag's going this way, and then these E-Drags are all going to go up the center and probably start splitting. So the warden comes down. A terrible rage. I don't understand what this rage is. Why? Why are we, like, what value do you get out of this? Like, it pushes the loons faster, yeah, but you've got, like, 3 loons in that rage, and by the time they get to this warden statue, they're not going anywhere. So I don't know, like, if you would have put the rage right here, then that would have worked out, but this was a completely pointless rage. We got another rage dropped over here. Warden ability pretty early because we've got the town hall over here that these E-Drags are going after, and we won't have a warden ability for it. So another rage comes in. There should be a freeze here, like a freeze right here between these two for all these troops would be much better than no freeze at all. Also, a poison on the CC would have been nice, but so these E-Drags are just constantly getting distracted by the skeletons from the witches, and they're getting absolutely no value. And the skeletons are now coming in after the royal champion. The slammer finally comes in, but all of our E-Drags are dead at this point. So the slammer is going to come in and take out the town hall. This rage is wasted as well because you can't rage a stone slammer. Yeah, we could have had much better freeze placements on this single inferno. An actual poison over the CC. The rage placements were atrocious. This freeze was late because the eagle is still going to get it one shot off. And that was sad. That was not a good attack. I don't know what else to say about that. That was just bad. So we had poor funneling, we had poor spell placement, we didn't even drop our poison, we didn't have anything to clean up the skeletons, the E-Drags just got distracted by the skeletons, the single Inferno roasted the E-Drags, the Town Hall roasted the E-Drags, the Warden ability was too early, the freezes on the Eagle Artillery were too late. If you're going to come in with E-Drags, you really need a good funnel, because E-Drags are even dumber than regular dragons, and they'll go anywhere. And if you want them to get value, you have to make a good funnel. Alright guys, that's it for the second episode of What Went Wrong. I do hope you learned a lot and you enjoyed the video. I'm having a really good time going over these replays and analyzing them and explaining them. And I hope you get a lot of value and knowledge from my explanations of these replays, because I feel like not enough people watch their own replays or watch their fails to learn from them. Because honestly, if you would just go over your own replays, especially your war replays, and watch them a couple times and see where you placed your spells or how you create your funnel, or maybe you could have waited just a couple more seconds before you sent those troops in and they wouldn't have walked along the walls, they would have gone inside. I just think there's a lot of value in watching replays, and a lot can be learned from it. So that's why I'm doing the series, and like I said, I really hope you guys enjoy it. I'm having a lot of fun, and if you did enjoy it, please let me know by leaving a like on the video, subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and drop me a comment telling me what you thought and what you'd like to see in upcoming videos. Thank you so much for watching, guys.